Okay, so now I'm shaving off that back part, and I'm going to erase, this part right here. Haven't done it yet. I just wanted to show you that's what it used to look like, and this is what it looks like. So now again, really thinking about that back rectangle that's not as foreshortened for this, it looks pretty good. I think that's all right. Then I look at the front of this, actually looking at the back of this for this. Does it look like that rectangle in perspective? Yeah, it looks pretty good. So if I do both of those right, then this third one should look right too, which I'm looking at this, I'm looking at the bottom of it, which in my drawing will be this. But I want to look at the rectangle and say, could that believably be that rectangle in space? It still looks a little bit long for it, but I don't think that that's a deal breaker. It looks like it could be a little bit long. It's hard to tell because it is foreshortened. I could shave off a little bit more, probably. The one thing that I would say on this is that if it's longer, if it's a little bit long, that's better than if it's squatty, then it's too short or something like that. I don't want it to be too short. The other thing that I want to point out here is that at the first, when I set this thing up, I mean, some of you, if you're looking down on the object, as a lot of the examples that I've given you do that, then obviously your Z vanishing point is down rather than up, okay? You'd have X and Y, and then the vertical one, Z, would be down. So, you'd put those up there and the thing down here. The other thing that I'd say is try to make that be this sort of equilateral, triangle or isosceles or whatever the hell they call those. It's three equal sides as much as you can. And then, draw the object in there, not so gigantic that it fills the entire thing. The more gigantic it is, the more pinched your perspective is going to be, or more exaggerated or even extreme that it can get. When I start to look at this right over here, that starts to be like a really acute angle. I don't want it to be much more acute than that. The more acute it gets, it's like that doesn't really happen in real life. But once I've got it, I'm going to kind of be okay with that. Okay. I'm going to be okay with it because when it is a little bit exaggerated or extreme, the drawing has an energy to it or a dynamic to it that I think it doesn't have if you go really, really timid with it, like really small little object inside the very center of this would have, much more, just a mild kind of perspective to it. Okay, that would be, my advice.